Uh, uh, I officially am displeased by a VTuber entirely due to reasons that are restricted to me entirely. My past was already ducked up as it is, but recently it's arguably worse. Cut out the I say arguably because off the top of my head I can remember that I used to live in a place where I got abused physically, but that's been resolved in court. Yeah. And, yeah, so, I'd talk about the mental part. Maybe. But due to me being overthinking things, and that being sometimes beneficial, yeah, that was unbeneficial. And a VTuber that is on YouTube, 33-year-old Scottish man, I think, and he goes around as a friggin' cat girl, and there things involving that model go on. I stopped watching that channel a while ago, not sure why I continued watching it. I don't know, I'm not alone with watching it. My head's screwed. I have genuine things affecting my brain that have negative side effects. I'm not even exaggerating. I've got multiple aces, and just one can cause a healthy man in his 40s to collapse from a heart attack without being at risk. And I've got multiple. I think 4 of them matched. Though it was the violence one was in video games, loss of a loved one, that's Orko's family, that's the great-grandfather, I can't even get my words right. There's one with abuse, got my family, and that shall not be named, that's been put in jail, I'm not sure how long. Well, anyway, back on target. There's this one VTuber that I'm recording while she's live streaming, while simultaneously playing a game where I kill in said game. And that avatar reminded me of Sean VR, and then that video, that 2-part series I made about analyzing Sean VR being a dude that's pregnant, and whether or not the baby would be removed surgically, or be giving labor, and the various ways of which the labor could do. And I know way too much about the wrong things of human anatomy for my age. Seriously, I should not know even half the things I know. I shouldn't know I shouldn't know the reproductive system as well as I do. I shouldn't, it's unreasonable for me to know about CRISPR and how cancer exists, and have knowledge of theories as to why it is that big creatures don't get cancer. I know that eventually everything that man has done will be for nothing, because the universe will no longer give birth to stars, and if not, the universe is going to tear itself apart either by the universe expanding faster than light and gravity not keeping things together, or whether it be the universe itself, well, the universe tearing in two or multiple pieces, or it crushing in on itself and then forming a black hole, and then quantum warping, which is an object going from point A to point B, even though there's an obstruction there, and it goes through that obstruction without affecting that obstruction. It doesn't seem possible. It's one of those things that I think it's one of the that is one of the things that doesn't get explained by other things. It just is. It's one of the rules and the law. It's one of the laws that is followed. It's like gravity. Gravity moves matter. Matter increases gravity. So matter is moved by matter increases gravity until matter affect. Why am I struggling with that? I can say hippopotamus squidaliophobia, but I struggle with that simple word. Gravity moves matter. Matter instructs gravity how to move. We don't know what causes it, and we don't know why the universe exists, even though everything's from a cause and effect relationship, and so something causes something, and in order for anything to truly exist, existence would have to be infinite and start in infinite ways back, but then if it starts in infinite years, an infinite time unit that you're using backwards, then there has to be a starting point, but then the starting point is the end, and there has to be something that allows that to happen, and it's basically a paradox. 16% of chip bag is air, but that is, sorry, not air, of Doritos is chips, but they put in the best amount of chips. Food theory went into depth. The smaller chip bag and the more chip bag and standard chip bag. The standard had the most unbroken, and when put in all unbroken, it was hard to put in more unbroken chips, and they break, and it looks like there's less, but when the chips are whole, it's harder to fit in chips. If everything's ripped apart, we shouldn't exist because of a paradox. And I've read and heard a description on how human tastes like. I know that the nukes that were used in World War II for Japan only had a small amount of the uranium that ignited. I know the hydrotassar bomb very much dwarfs Hiroshima and Nagasaki's nukes. I know that it goes up past the bottom atmosphere and into the second lowest atmosphere. I forget the names, even though I learned those names in school. I know how guns work in multiple ways. I've seen the insides of AK. I've seen it field stripped. I've seen it reassembled. I've seen multiple unassembled simultaneously. I know more about guns than I should in terms of how they work. I know that the guns, how we use them, truly can never be silenced the way we see in movies because they break the sound barrier and that sonic crack can't be suppressed. unless you get subsonic ammunition, and even then it doesn't work. I know that the bottle silencer from The Last of Us would only work one time. I know how to actually assemble a makeshift silencer. I've seen the inner workings of a silencer. I know how silencers work. I've seen a accurate recreation. Wrong terminology. I've seen a. How do I word this? What are the proper words? I've seen a professional swordsman try to achieve cutting people in two, seeing if he could cut people in two by testing on a ballistics dummy with a sword. It got through this area until it got to the spine, which stopped it. I know that 250 milliseconds is the reaction time of the human brain. I know that there's a fruit fly that can react in 5 milliseconds. That's actual speed to dodge a bullet. By the time you hear a bullet, the bullet's already arrived in you, but the fly can see the bullet and thus dodge. It's a fruit fly. Why does it have those reflexes? All running's possible. Even water running's possible. There's lizards that can do that. I've seen way too much Noah get the boat. Way too much. But I enjoyed it even though I probably shouldn't. Genetic engineering is a thing that exists, and there has been a still living tissue sample of a dinosaur somewhere, unless that was fake. I don't know, but judging by the source I got from, which was on one of those film theory or game. No, it was film theory. Yeah, film theory. Apparently, he went into there being a unfossilized piece of body in allegedly a dinosaur bone fell out of a chopper, out of a helicopter. It broke, they thought it was bad, and they examined and they found biological material that was still wet, and so DNA may have been able to be used. So Jurassic Park's resurrection of dinosaurs is maybe closer than you think. CRISPR's has been used to alter creatures. 5 children, I think it is, in every how many minutes die from malaria, which hitches a ride on mosquitoes. I'm living during a pandemic that lasted from one decade to another. There was also apparently in the same decade when it started, there was, hold on, let me check it. Let me remember everything. There's a lot that happened. An election started between Donald Trump, which was a meme for his time in office about building a wall, and Twitter posts, and I think a few other things, against the person who also became a meme. While I think during the prompt time of him running for president, it was surprisingly close considering what Biden said and what Trump has done. There was Bella Delphine's return. World War III almost happened. 2 meteors came close to hitting Earth. There was a double hurricane. One meteor came close to hitting Earth. A genuine U.S. government released footage of a UFO. America was not doing well. It had over 200,000 COVID cases, and I'm running out of time. Oh no.